I'm in the center of Silicon Valley. Behind me is the Apple campus, one of the most prominent buildings, sightseeings of a little town, Cupertino, where I live, which is 40 minutes away from San Francisco. In this video, I will tell you why I moved to California, pros and cons of living in California, and why I want to leave California for good. The very first advantage of living in California is the fresh air. First, because the ocean is nearby. Second is that California is a pretty green state. Да что такое? Insects. Okay. And third, which I hope is US standard, quality of cars or engine emissions that are controlled by government to decrease the air pollution. And Californians overall are pretty crazy about saving the world. I think California has the great public image worldwide. If California was a celebrity, I would say it has the best PR agents working for it. When people think of California, it associates with an amazing weather, beaches, Hollywood Boulevard, and Silicon Valley's tech and innovation. When I was going to move to California, I imagined how I would be walking on Hollywood Boulevard and I would see randomly on the streets like, hey Tom Cruise, hey Cameron Diaz. When I go to the beach, I would see Jay-Z and Beyonce sipping their Cosmos next to me, James Cameron and Martin Scorsese shooting their movies just right around the corner. Imagine how I was disappointed when I saw Hollywood Boulevard with my own eyes for the first time. By the way, let me know in the comments below, how do you think of California? Do you have the same perception as I do? Were you disappointed when you saw Hollywood Boulevard for the first time as well? It turned out that Hollywood is a fiction. You will not meet anyone famous there. Mostly tourists with the disappointment on their faces similar to mine. You'll see a bunch of homeless people, addicts, and other street entertainers dressed as movie characters. Pacific Ocean is so cold. I swam there maybe like 2 times in my entire life. One was in Malibu and I thought I would die from the cold, and the second time was in San Diego, still cold. Northern California, where San Francisco is, or Silicon Valley, not even a chance I would get into the water. I can't tell you a lot about Southern California, where San Diego and Los Angeles are located, because I spent most of my time here in Northern California, in the city of San Francisco and Cupertino, to be exact. What is called Silicon Valley, by the way? Silicon Valley is a region located in the southern part of San Francisco Bay Area in Northern California. It is known for being a global center of tech, innovation, entrepreneurship, and a headquarters to the most prominent tech companies like Apple, Google, Meta, Netflix, Amazon. The region is categorized by its dense concentration of tech companies, startups, venture capital firms, research institutions, and highly skilled workforce. Silicon Valley's influence extends far beyond its physical borders. Therefore, for me, San Francisco is a part of Silicon Valley. And when you hear I live in Silicon Valley, that means that the person is somehow connected with the technology, innovation, startups, venture capital, or FANG companies. I was born in Astana, the capital of Kazakhstan. When I was in kindergarten, I told my mom that I want to study English because I want to go to America. And I had a dream of becoming a TV star. and I knew that eventually I will move to California. Yeah, believe in your dreams, and you don't know where they're gonna bring you. Many years later, I moved to Los Angeles for a few months to try my acting career, and then I moved to San Francisco. And if you would like me to tell you about my acting career, hit that like button. I don't know why, but back then, San Francisco was not so tacky, or maybe I was blind, I don't know. It definitely was on the rise, but people who surrounded me were either hipsters or corporates working in the financial district. So it was 2006 or 2007, and maybe because I was young and had different interests, but startup culture was starting to become a thing after 2008 crisis. After that, startups started to grow like mushrooms after the rain. Young tech professionals from all over the world started to move to San Francisco, some to get jobs in tech, some to give jobs in tech, and some to invest in tech. Did you know that during the golden rush in San Francisco, people who made most money were those who sold shovels, not the ones who dig the gold? I think the same happened here. If you knew how to open a Delaware C Corp, you're golden. But hey, San Francisco does not stretch. It is only 7 by 7. 49ers, which led to a ridiculous real estate increase. The influx of high-earning individuals has increased the demand for housing. If you decide to move to San Francisco today, be prepared to pay around $4,000 for one bedroom plus the deposit, which is usually equals to 1 month's rent. Or get a roommate to split the cost. You're probably wondering, how do native San Franciscans survive? If you don't work in tech, how can you afford living in San Francisco? I had the same questions for store managers, hospitality workers, or social workers. San Francisco also has this rent control program that covers units built before 1979. This program limits a rent increase, and tenants have the right to request a lease renewal and to remain in their units as long as they comply with the lease terms and pay rent. Meaning that if native San Franciscans' initial rent was $800 per month, most likely they still pay the same amount. But as soon as they move out, that price matches up to whatever is on the market right now, immediately. But that's not the reason why I moved to Cupertino, a little town to the south of the peninsula, after 10 years of living in San Francisco. Reason number one is San Francisco is not designed for kids or for families with kids. Reason number two, it is constantly windy, foggy, and cold. There is a saying that every person who lived in San Francisco knows for sure, allegedly quoted by Mark Twain, which is, "The coldest winter I ever spent was a summer in San Francisco." I immediately want to oppose by saying that the man has never been to Astana, the coldest winter with -40 degrees. Reason number three is safety. I do not feel safe in San Francisco. Homeless communities, shelters are right in the center of the city, close to Twitter and Uber buildings. A few years ago, Uber employees refused to go to the office because they've been attacked with a knife. Imagine working at Uber, getting like $3,000 salary per year and being stopped in the middle of the day next to your office by an addict hanging around there every day 24/7. And when we moved to the area closer to Twitter building, our car has been robbed 3 times in 1 week. And even if you have a video proof and burglar's ID in your hands, police will not do shit. Another reason, which has its own pros and cons at the same time, is diversity. San Francisco is a melting pot of all nationalities from all over the world. On one hand, you can learn about many different cultures, traditions, languages. When you meet new people, you also learn about their great dreams that brought them to San Francisco, startups that develop devices to clean the ocean, startups that create shoes to track your activity with installed gamification, based on blockchain technology or startup that creates a smart home for pets using AI technology. Yeah, crazy. And you're like, wow. So yes, this is kind of like a mecca of innovation, and I live in the center of it. On the other hand, if you're not in tech or venture capital, most likely you'll be outcasted. Because Silicon Valley has a very tech-centric culture. The majority of conversations, events, and social interactions often revolve around tech-related topics. And if you're not part of this industry, you might find it challenging to connect with others on the common ground. There is a pressure to be relevant. A few months ago, I decided to take some time off to rediscover myself, improve the quality of my life, yada yada yada, and invest more time in YouTube. I am completely shut down from tech. It's not easy to find communities that do not promote tech, and I'm sure there are a lot of people like me who feel the same. They feel lonely, isolated, outcasted. Wink me in the comments and let's get together to discuss everything but tech. What I have been thinking a lot lately is about leaving California. I hope this video helped you to decide whether you want to move to Silicon Valley or not, or if you live here and deep inside you feel that California does not make you happy, know that you're not alone. There are always ways to change everything. If you could earn money in California but live anywhere else, where would you live? Let me know in the comments below. Meanwhile, in my next video, I will tell you about the place where I'm thinking about to relocate. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you later. Bye.